A major river in northeastern China has been struck by even more flooding. Heavy rains upstream have caused a dam to collapse, and the overflow has soaked 10,000 acres of crops. NTD's Tiffany Meyer brings us more.
China's most northern province, named Heilongjiang, has recently been hit by flooding. Early Tuesday morning, a dam in Daqing City collapsed. The resulting flood soaked more than 11,000 acres of rice fields. The damage has rendered farmers' efforts for the year useless. One farmer shot a clip of the scene, saying that locals are facing major difficulty. He explained that the crops were nearly ready to be harvested, but now suddenly everything is gone.
Thousands of landlords have joined a lawsuit filed against the Centers for Disease Control. The suit targets the CDC's freeze on evictions until the end of the year. It's meant to help prevent tenants from being kicked out of their homes if they're suffering a financial burden because of the pandemic. But a lawyer representing the case told us the CDC is putting landlords in a tough spot. NTD's Melina Weiskup has the story.
The new Civil Liberties Alliance says that although the CDC is trying to help tenants in financially tight situations, it only pushes the burden onto the landlords.
If you have someone who just has one or two rental units, they're not necessarily a wealthy person. In fact, this may be the way that they put bread on the table for their families, is by having a few rental units, and they count on that income in order to pay their bills and put a roof over their heads. And so
Chenoweth represents the landlords in the lawsuit. He says the lawsuit is crucial to protecting landlords' rights and livelihoods. Currently, there is no federal assistance for landlords, but some states offer assistance. Under the CDC's new eviction freeze declaration, tenants that earn less than $99,000 per year and are facing financial pressure are protected from being evicted. But the tenants had to have tried to get government assistance before they get protection under the CDC's order. Chenoweth says that in some cases, the tenants were behind on rent even before the pandemic. And some people may take advantage of the eviction halt, even if they are able to pay rent.
If you start allowing these constitutional shortcuts and you start allowing federal agencies to abuse administrative power, then you run into major civil liberties problems very, very quickly.
The CDC argues that it has the authority to act under the circumstances of the pandemic. But Chenoweth says the CDC has no legal authority to interfere with the business between landlords and tenants.
Preventing a healthy person from being evicted from a premises just on the theory that might increase the chances of them spreading COVID or getting COVID is well beyond the scope of the authority that the CDC is given.
Since the pandemic started, some states have issued temporary eviction bans, but the CDC's new declaration requires all states to freeze evictions until the end of the year. Chenoweth tells us his team is still investigating how many states will be affected by the declaration. Reporting by Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
A man received a unique honor in New York for chasing down a suspect in a subway train derailment. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority gave Ricky and Wilder a year of free unlimited subway and bus rides. They say Wilder caught Demetrius Harvard throwing construction debris onto the tracks of a subway station on Sunday. According to investigators, Wilder jumped onto the tracks and removed the debris. He got out of the way just before a train came into the station. The MTA says Harvard threw more debris out. This debris caused a train with 135 passengers to derail. Officials say Wilder reported the derailment, then stopped Harvard as he tried to leave the scene. Harvard was taken into custody. None of the passengers in the derailment were injured. New York City street vendors held a rally calling for the city council to pass a bill in their favor. The legislation would increase the number of food stand permits in the city and replace NYPD oversight with a unit specifically dedicated to enforcing street vending laws. NTD's Don Tran has the details.
Street vendors and their supporters are continuing to demand for more permits to do business without fear of being penalized. For years, they have pushed for the passage of Bill 1116, which will issue batches of permits to food vendors each year until 2029.
We got to pass this bill as quickly as we can. We have the support in the committee.
The bill has gained sponsorship from 30 council members, including council members Margaret Shin and Carlos Menchaca, who were both in attendance. Here in New York City, the current limit to the number of available permits is 4,000. Street vendors have to wait as long as 20 years to get one, and so many see no choice but to rent one from the black market or to sell their food without a permit, which could lead them to being fined or arrested. One of the advocates pointed out the city's $9 billion budget deficit. He said the bill will help the city recover by bringing in more revenue.
So not only are we creating small businesses and economic opportunity, but once again, vendors can have a role in actually helping our city recover.
The bill also includes having a dedicated vending law enforcement unit to oversee street vendors instead of the NYPD. Street vendors have been opposed to police officers because of alleged harassment.
And the very important piece here is that we really need an enforcement unit that works with the community and support them, not penalize them.
Other qualifications the unit needs to meet is to be well-trained and fluent in multiple languages. Don Tran, NTD News, New York.
Are you ready for 2020 to be over? You're not the only one. The new year is just a couple months away, and the Times Square ball drop is going to have a new look. It's going virtual. The news about the ball drop dropped Wednesday. Organizers say they want to ring in 2021, quote, visually, virtually, and safely. They say there will still be live entertainment, but it'll be limited, though all of that is still in the works.